the illusion of rigging. Now, I realize you can't see this. You're too far back. In fact, you were almost a meter back from the camera to the center of the ship here. In other words, it's arm's length. The rigging that I put on last night, now I did come back to the model table last night, and I worked at this for about, I'm guessing, 3 hours. And I've got a few strands of easy line going back and forth, not necessarily in the right place, but as I started out saying, it's the illusion of rigging. And that brings to mind something that I gotta mention here, and that is that I realized that a lot of the viewers, many of the viewers anyway, commented with really good suggestions. This particular line goes from here to here to here to here, whatever. And I didn't do it. And I apologize for that. I am very grateful for all the helpful suggestions I got on this build, but didn't do the suggestion. Now that maybe doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but I apologize to those viewers, and there was a few that had a lot of really good technical ideas and they were right, but I didn't do it. We are basically done. Another thing is, if you remember a couple of years ago, or I guess a year and a half ago, when we finished the Bismarck, I did the big reveal. And I took the camera and I moved it around the ship and so on. And I was going to do that today, and I was thinking about how can I set it up. And then I realized that throughout this entire build, I have done a lot of close-ups. And there's been a lot of really good shots that have shown the ship. And once it's in the case, then you're going to be able to see the little bit of rigging that I did put on, because it will stand out against the white background. Right now, I don't know if there's what can I put there that's white that'll show you. Just a minute here. Okay, as I've said so many times in this build, it's a good thing I can cut out the dead spots. All right, now, is this going to work, or am I just wasting my time here? All right, if I go like this, now the rigging that I put on, you can sort of see it there. Okay, now that's what I mean when I say that when I put it in the case, you're going to be able to see the rigging. Right now, it is so fine, and as I was mentioning yesterday, the rigging that I've got 6 strands going for the aerials here. You can't see them. Anyway, enough talk. What else did I want to talk about today? Well, today I don't know how it's going to go. I think we are actually going to probably have the hood in the case by tonight. And as you can see, it's only 7 in the morning, so I've got, several hours to do what I want to do. I want to take my little brush and go around and cover up places where CA glue is glinting through. There were some places on the careful, Ron. There were some places on the sides of the funnels here that I want to go over again with the number 22. Oh, while I'm thinking of it, one of the viewers mentioned that I think it's this paint right here. It kind of looks blue. He was mentioning that some of these lights they kind of look blue, and I'm thinking, yeah, they do. It's this gray. It's not blue. It's actually gray. But when you see it against other colors, yeah, I can see where some of these pieces actually look blue. I don't know if I will use that color again. I think it was this one here, the 66. Yeah, it was the 66. I may not use the 66 on the Rodney, but I will use probably the other ones. we might be starting the Rodney tomorrow. I don't know. Now, today I have some other things I got to do. I've got to deal with the snow we got. Sitting outside, you probably can't see it, but my front steps are completely covered over. Practically anyway. So I got to get out there and deal with the snow. I want to give myself a haircut. There's a lot of things I want to do today. So today's episode is going to be not only disjointed, but it's probably going to be a little bit short. Now, why is this bothering me here? I don't think this thing should be facing like this. Oh, another thing I got to do is fasten these down with blue tack so that they don't roll around on the deck. And our guns here, I've concluded that yes, I'm going to have them facing to starboard. I think the safest way to do it is, now these ones here I am not going to glue down. They don't need to glue down. They won't fall off unless the ship gets turned more than on its side. Okay, now I think that in all likelihood, these guns in the back, now I have to be careful when I go to turn them that they don't catch things like this right here. I would think that when the ship was swinging to port, so that it could broadside be broadside to the Bismarck, so more or less, that in all likelihood these guns would have been pointing in this direction, and of course the ones at the front would also be pointing to starboard, so that as soon as the Bismarck, they got sight of the Bismarck, they could start shooting at it. I mean, after all, if the Bismarck could hit them, which it did, these guns should have been able to hit the Bismarck. What a way to live when you think about it. I mean, you know, I'm very interested in the mechanics of this ship, but I deplore what the political nonsense. That's the best way to describe it. Nonsense and foolishness, and feudalism of mankind in to bring himself to build something like this, to shoot at each other. And if you look at this ship, and you look at the Bismarck, and you look at the Iowa or the Missouri, and I do think I'm probably going to order one of them. I don't know which one yet. The nonsense behind it, the foolishness behind it, that it just boggles my mind. Even though, as I keep saying, the mechanical aspect of something like this is really intriguing to me. Now, when I look at a ship like this, I see inside it, and I can envision all the mechanical stuff that I can understand. It's not like my car sitting outside that's covered with snow right now, and I lift the hood and I look down and I think, what on earth is that? A ship like this, you can look at something and you can understand how it works. Anyway, let's move on here today. Let's open some of our little jars, touch up some places, and like I say, there is one thing that I am a little bit worried about, and that is that the case that I made over a year ago now, I guess, I haven't tried it yet. The plexiglass will not shrink. Unfortunately, the wood will. And I'm a little bit concerned that the wood may have shrunk around the plexiglass, and I'm going to have trouble getting it out. Now, I'm just talking about what I'm thinking about here at the time. Then there's other things that I wanted to talk about today too. Anyway, let's get on with it here. Now, it has been my experience that when I'm going to touch up like this, and parts of are dark gray and parts are light gray. Now, in this case, I think they're both the number 77. But what I would do is I would select. And in other words, I'm going to get them mixed up. I'm going to get the one paint on one and the other color on the other. I will always select the darker color, because once it dries and you're trying to cover up glint from CA glue, like which is what I'm trying to do right now. Now I know I'm putting it on maybe a little bit thick here, and I know it doesn't look like it's working, but from the top, we're not going to be looking at the bottom anyway. You know, I can't remember where I did and where I didn't. I just want to get rid of the shine, and I think that pretty much did it. Yeah, once that's dry, we're not going to see that. Now, is there anything else around here? Yeah, you can see where, at least I can from my angle. I'm not going to touch it, but the deck tan's got a little bit of CA on it, and I can sort of see a bit of shine there, but I'm afraid that if I try to get in there with the deck tan, I'm going to get it on the gray. Little spot right here. Okay. All right, let's move on to something else. Okay, I think that if I'm smart here, the best thing for me to do is to press the stop button and just go around the ship here and methodically do the touch-ups. Otherwise, I'm going to be wasting a lot of time, you might say. Well, it's not really wasting, but I'm going to be spending a lot of time videoing and setting up the camera and, you know, checking my lighting and all the little things that I do that I don't even think about. And yeah, I think we'll just press the stop button, and I'm just going to finish the touch-ups off camera. Well, this is the time we've all been waiting for. I got to be able to get in here. May as well take this out now, I guess. Okay, so we got to get the plexiglass off. I think it'll probably come off okay. This is going to be in the road because I'm going to want to walk back and forth there. Let me press the stop button and think about this. Okay, the idea is that as well as lifting, up on this, I also have to pull it out to make it, to buckle it so that it goes in on the sides. And then I have to pull it out because it's plexiglass, it'll bend. At least that's what's happened before. Now I haven't done this for about a year, so let's see if it'll go up first. That's a pretty tight fit. Yeah, this is what I was afraid of. The case has shrunk. I should have thought of that when I made this thing. Okay, I'm gonna have to press stop here and figure this out. Okay, as well as the case shrinking slightly, I think maybe I didn't wait long enough for the paint to completely harden. You can see where it's been sticking. It's actually broken some of the wood away, so I'm gonna have to clean that up. Okay, our Bismarck. Now I don't know how things are going to go yet today. A while ago my neighbor was out with a snowblower. He shut it off, and now I hear he can't get it started. So I'm expecting my doorbell to ring any minute. That's going to maybe throw things for a loop here. I suppose as a good neighbor I should be going out there and seeing what's wrong. I don't mean to brag, but I'm really good with small engines. I guess that was bragging, wasn't it? Okay. You remember how I was saying how that the rigging will stand out against the white background? Now, you're approximately 6 feet away, or 2 meters, maybe not quite 2 meters, from this rigging. And if you're watching this, especially if you're watching this in 4K, that rigging should just stand right out. Now I'm hoping that it's going to be much the same on the hood. I think we'll put the hood on the bottom rack. I know the rigging will stand out better on the top. Maybe the top would be better. I should have had this figured out. Well, let's see. What do we want to see on the hood most? From this way, or? Oh, we'll put it on the bottom. Then maybe we'll move the Bismarck up to the top and put the Rodney in the middle. Or now, when we get to the place where we have to put either the Iowa or the Missouri in here, and I did calculate that there is room for 4. Excuse me, as long as we redo our brackets here. Probably the Iowa or Missouri would have to sit on here, and then we'll just have to relocate these. But that's a long way down the road. That's like 2 years from now. But my plan is still to buy it and have it ready. And we'll have it underneath here like we did with the Rodney for a couple of years. That's the plan. Anyway, yeah, we'll put the hood on the bottom here. That way we can kind of look down on the deck. Okay, so let's figure out how we're going to pick it up and carry it over here. I think probably the best way to go is take the turrets off and put my fingers down in through the turret holes where the barbettes came out. Well, there is no barbettes. Anyway, you know what I mean. I think that's the safest way to go rather than try and pick it up from underneath. At least that's the plan. Whoa! Accident already. Accident already. Well, I guess I better push stop and repair that. And the camera would have to be running, wouldn't it? Yeah, how did I do that? Oh yeah, I wasn't looking. I should have had this box on this side. Okay, just give me a minute. This won't take long. Yepers, I should have been more careful and watched what I was doing. Yep, well, maybe it's because you guys were watching me and I was a little bit uptight and nervous. Well, let's blame that. Anyway, on a brighter note, we had a nice sunrise this morning. But you know what? So did Tennessee Jim. I was sitting in front of my computer and I get a little message down in the right-hand corner of my screen that says something like, "You have mail." Well, it didn't say that, but you know what I mean. Anyway, I opened my mail and here's a picture from Tennessee Jim that he had taken just this morning. Thanks, Jim. Okay, we're basically repaired. It's not quite the same as it was before, but it's going to be all right. It's going to be believable. All right, so we're going to want it facing that way. So we'll pick it straight up. Oh, I did kind of blow the deck off and so on and got rid of all the visible signs of dust. Now I hope the old knees don't give out on me now. They feel pretty good. I think we'll make it. Make sure I don't trip. Now I would think we'd probably want to position this so that it's as close to the plexiglass as possible, and not and yet not be. If someone was to push on the plexiglass, it's not going to hit the side. That's pretty good. yeah, now we'll get the guns positioned in the right location and get our glass cleaned up and put it back on. Okay, let's see if we can get these on right the first time, so I don't get a message from a viewer saying you got the turrets on wrong, and then off comes the plexiglass, and let's start all over again. Okay, now I know the one with the platform goes right here. This is the one that had originally had an aircraft mount. Okay, now remember we want to have the guns pointing slightly to starboard. Oh, and we want our rudder adjusted to port a little bit. Just a little bit. So it's believable. Yeah, that'll be about right. I imagine that would. Yeah, that looks about right to me. Okay, now this one that has the anti-aircraft thing on it, we'll go like that. We'll try and keep these all the same orientation here. There's only one left. It has to go right here. Okay. I think that looks pretty good. We will take a better look. I'll move the camera in and we'll take a better look in a few minutes. Now the reason for this shot is just so that you can see how the rigging stands out against the white background. And that's it for the rigging. Not much, but enough. Okay, folks, time has slipped away on me here. Yeah, I got a neighbor coming over for coffees pretty soon here, and I gotta wind this up real fast. Thanks for watching, everybody, and all being well, we'll be seeing you tomorrow with the Rodney.